Ukraine's new air masterpiece, the shotgun drone, is killing North Korean troops at such a shocking rate. Just recently, in an impressive feat, these shotgun drones took down over 15 North Korean troops in a space of just 4 minutes, leading up to 120 men being taken down in a matter of hours. This adds to the over 3,000 North Koreans that have already met their end on the front lines in the past 3 months.
The Lieutenant Colonel said to me that in 2 days he saw 120 North Korean Russian troops killed. In one incident, he said he saw, in a space of 4 minutes, about 15 North Korean troops killed by drone.
These new Ukrainian shotgun drones, also known as Winchester drones, have been a game changer in the ongoing conflict with Russia. They are equipped with dual-barrel shotguns and are designed to counter Russian unmanned aerial vehicles with alarming accuracy. The wide pellet dispersion from the shotgun barrels increases the likelihood of hitting small, nimble, airborne targets, making them highly effective against patrol and attack drones, as you just saw in the video. The development of these drones came about as a rising need to counter Russian strategies in the war. After realizing the danger that Russia's drones posed, Ukraine designed a way to eliminate them without having to sacrifice its equipment in suicide missions all the time. You see, most FPV drones are designed for one-time use. They usually carry a grenade or rocket warhead and crash into their targets, destroying themselves in the process. But with Ukraine producing over 100,000 FPVs every month, they'd certainly prefer if each drone could strike more than once before being destroyed. That's where the shotgun drones, or Winchesters, come in. Instead of ramming into targets with explosives, these drones use shotguns to take out individual soldiers. This makes them reusable, allowing each FPV to complete multiple strikes before it's taken down. This clever approach significantly boosts the effectiveness of Ukraine's drone operations, making every single drone count even more. What's interesting is that despite carrying 2 shotguns, they don't even need to land to make the shot. This makes their ability to neutralize enemy drones in midair a key advantage. Let's get technical for a second. The dual-barrel shotgun design allows for a recoilless firing system, balancing the force of the shotgun discharge with a counterweight mechanism, preventing destabilization during firing. This innovation means that the drones remain stable and accurate even while engaging moving targets, and they can keep firing repeatedly. The shotgun drones use advanced targeting systems, potentially incorporating AI-driven target acquisition and engagement to enhance their precision and effectiveness. This capability has been crucial in disrupting Russian reconnaissance operations, limiting their ability to gather intelligence and plan attacks. It also makes them very dangerous, as they can fire and be on the move, making them hard to pinpoint and shoot. In addition to countering enemy drones, the shotgun drones have been used to target Russian infantry and light vehicles. This all-around use has provided Ukrainian forces with a tactical advantage, allowing them to engage enemy forces from a safe distance and minimize the risk to their own troops. It's no wonder these shotgun drones have had a significant, horrifying impact on Russian forces. The constant threat of being targeted by these drones creates an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty among Russian troops. Knowing that a precision strike could happen at any moment has eroded the morale of Russian soldiers, making their operations more challenging and increasing the likelihood of surrender or desertion. Imagine constantly hearing the buzzing sound of drones above you that can now shoot at you. It's scary. You can't blame them. Can you imagine being chased by a shotgun-wielding drone? That's wild. Before the chaos of the shotgun drones specifically, Ukrainian drones in general have been causing Russians a lot of pain and headaches on the battlefield. The recent Ukrainian drone attacks on Russian buildings and facilities have been causing significant disruptions that are certain to heavily disrupt Putin's war effort. Let's start with the Smolensk nuclear power plant attack on January 29th. This nuclear power plant is the largest in northwestern Russia, making it quite vital for electricity production in the region. Ukrainian drones targeted this critical facility, and although Russian air defenses managed to intercept several drones, the attack really exposed the superiority of drone technology by showing just how easily Ukraine can take out some important infrastructure. That's not all. On the same night, debris from a Ukrainian drone caused a fire at the Cyber petrochemical plant in Kostovo, Nizhny Novgorod region. The fire stopped operations temporarily, disrupting the production of key petrochemicals. As you can imagine, this was the goal of the attack in the first place. You see, petrochemicals are super important to Russia, as they are a huge part of the country's economy. They bring in a lot of money that funds military expenses. Even with Western sanctions targeting their oil and gas industries, Russia has managed to keep things going by shifting exports to other markets like China and Asia. On top of bringing in money, petrochemicals are essential for military applications like fueling vehicles, aircraft, and naval vessels. This disruption to the plant has no doubt strained Russia's war effort by affecting the supply of crucial materials needed for military operations and causing financial losses for the company. Moving on. On January 24th, Ukrainian drones targeted the Ryazan oil refinery, causing significant damage and disrupting crucial fuel supplies for Russian military operations. This was the second attack on this refinery, as Ukraine had previously attacked the Ryazan refinery in May 2024. The attack drone had traveled hundreds of miles deep into Russian territory to accomplish this mission and disrupt Russia's plans. This refinery, one of Russia's largest, plays a crucial role in supplying fuel for both civilian and military purposes. It has the capacity to process 17 million metric tons of oil per year. According to Reuters, the facility accounted for nearly 5% of Russia's total refining in 2024, making it very important. Kiev considers oil refineries to be valid military targets, as profits from the fossil fuel industry fund Russia's war machine. When Ukrainian drones targeted the refinery, they caused a lot of damage, setting oil storage tanks ablaze and damaging key equipment like the railway loading rack and the hydrotreater unit. This attack disrupted fuel shipments and led to a stop in operations at the refinery. The impact of this strike on Russia's war effort is huge. Fuel is key in maintaining military operations, and the disruption at the Ryazan oil refinery has created a jam in the supply chain. This affects the availability of diesel, aviation kerosene, and other petroleum products used in Russian tanks, aircraft, and other military equipment. The loss of such a critical infrastructure component affects Russia's ability to sustain its military activities and reduces its operational effectiveness. This just adds to Russia's long list of problems in a war that they started. As I talk about all these bombings happening hundreds of miles from the border, I want you to imagine the psychological impact that these drone strikes have. The proven and consistent ability of Ukrainian drones to penetrate deep into Russian territory and target vital infrastructure no doubt creates a sense of vulnerability and uncertainty among Russian forces. This constant threat of drone attacks adds to the stress and pressure on Russian troops, affecting their morale and overall combat readiness. Like I said before, it now seems that nowhere is safe. The destruction of the Kremny EL microelectronics plant in Bryansk on the night of January 24, 2025, by Ukrainian drones is another testament to that. This plant is one of Russia's largest producers of microelectronics, manufacturing essential components for military equipment such as Pantsir air defense systems, Iskander missiles, and advanced radar systems. Ukrainian drones cause significant damage to the production facilities and administrative buildings, disrupting the power supply and breaking down technological production chains, forcing the plant to suspend operations temporarily. This strike on the Kremny EL plant has created another holdup in Russia's already faulty supply chain. The disruption affects the availability of essential parts for missile systems, air defense systems, and other military equipment, weakening Russia's war machine. You'd think that's all, but no. The threat of drones has become so intense in Russia that at one point the Russian aviation watchdog Rosaviatsia temporarily suspended flights at Kazan Airport in Tatarstan and Pulkovo Airport in the Leningrad region due to drone activity. Although flights resumed later, this incident raised a lot of alarm at how Ukraine has basically now gained full control of operations within Russia, to be threatened to such a point that even from hundreds of miles away, the threat to civilians is real, shows a major failure in Putin's plans. It's no wonder that public unrest is at an all-time high in Moscow. This all adds elements to the domestic pressure that Putin feels as his citizens slowly realize that no one is truly safe. In the heart of the conflict zone, drones have played a crucial role in Ukraine's counteroffensive operations. Take the Donbas region, for instance. Ukrainian drones have been essential in spotting and neutralizing Russian artillery positions. By providing real-time intelligence, these drones have enabled Ukrainian forces to plan and execute their missions with precision, significantly reducing casualties and increasing the effectiveness of their strikes. The ability to adjust artillery fire based on live drone footage has been a game changer, allowing Ukrainian forces to reclaim territory more effectively. It's not just the land operations that have Russians cowering, but Ukrainian drones have been a real thorn in the side of Russia's Black Sea Fleet too. Over the past few months, these drones have been relentlessly targeting Russian naval assets, causing significant damage and forcing the fleet to rethink its strategies. These drones have conducted spy missions and destroyed a good portion of the Russian fleet. This has not only safeguarded Ukraine's coastal regions, but also disrupted Russian naval operations, forcing them to reorganize their strategic planning. The persistent threat from the air has forced the Russian fleet to alter its tactics, proving that drones can be as impactful in naval warfare as they are on land. One of the most notable incidents was the destruction of 2 Russian Mi-8 helicopters in the Black Sea on December 31, 2024. Ukrainian naval drones took down 2 of these very advanced and expensive choppers and damaged 1. These attacks have been part of a sustained, successful campaign to weaken Russia's naval capabilities in the region. The impact of these drone strikes has been a humbling experience for Russia. Its Black Sea Fleet, once a symbol of Russian naval power, has suffered significant losses. It's estimated that Russian naval forces have lost 28 warships and boats, including a submarine. Ukraine has also taken down the once flagship of the Black Sea Fleet, the Moskva. As you might possibly imagine, this has been quite humiliating for Putin. The losses have been so severe that the fleet was forced to relocate its base from the Crimean port city of Sevastopol in 2024 due to the relentless drone and missile attacks. This move was a major blow to Russia's strategic position in the Black Sea, and no doubt a blow to Putin's confidence. Ukraine has also employed unmanned surface vehicles, or Sea Baby drones, to target Russian assets in the Black Sea. These drones have been used to attack gas platforms off the coast of Crimea, further disrupting Russia's operations in the region. When you consider all this, drones have been a complete game changer for Ukraine in the Russo-Ukraine war. Through technological advancements, they have filled the holes where Ukraine was lacking in comparison to Russia. They've given Ukraine a significant edge against Russia's strong military. From the very start of the conflict, these flying devices have been used for all sorts of important missions, spying on enemy movements, guiding artillery strikes, and even directly attacking enemy positions. Ukraine didn't just discover this technology by luck. They have spent a lot of money and effort building a strong drone industry. Over the years, the Ukrainian government has worked on making many types of drones, from small ones for spying on the enemy to larger ones for attacks. By 2024, Ukraine aimed to make 1 million FPV drones, and they achieved that goal by the end of the year. This quick growth was supported by money from both inside the country and international friends. The war has pushed Ukraine to improve drone technology fast. They keep upgrading their drones. They have turned regular commercial drones into military ones and created their own systems. Ukraine has set new standards in drone warfare. This means their drones stay effective and flexible, able to handle the changing challenges of the battlefield, thanks to support from the international community. Speaking of international support, it's been a critical part of Ukraine's success with drones. Countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Denmark, the Netherlands, Latvia, and Sweden have stepped up in a big way. The US, for instance, has poured $2.3 billion into Ukraine's military drone program. This support has come in various forms: technical assistance, helping procure essential components, and even sharing intelligence. Such collaboration has enabled Ukraine to integrate advanced technologies into its drone fleet, making it even more formidable on the battlefield. Portugal has supplied drones as well, although the exact types have not been disclosed. Luxembourg has provided Primaco 1 reconnaissance drones, adding to the diversity and effectiveness of Ukraine's drone fleet. These contributions have been crucial in increasing Ukraine's surveillance and strike capabilities, helping to counter Russian aggression effectively. These drones have been put to good use in various ways. They have been instrumental in conducting surveillance missions, providing real-time intelligence on enemy movements and positions. This information has allowed Ukrainian forces to plan and execute operations with greater precision and effectiveness. In addition to surveillance, these drones have been used for precision strikes against enemy targets. The Switchblade drones, for example, can be flown directly into enemy positions, delivering explosive payloads with pinpoint accuracy. The Bayraktar TB2 drones have also been used to great effect targeting targeting Russian equipment and infrastructure and disrupting their operations. But it's not just about money and tech support. The partnership between Ukrainian and Western drone manufacturers has played a crucial role as well. Companies from Europe and the United States have worked closely with Ukraine, testing and refining their drone technologies in real combat situations. This has been a win-win situation. Ukraine gets access to cutting-edge drones, and the manufacturers gain invaluable insights from the battlefield, helping them improve their products. Ulis, a Ukrainian company developing tethered drone systems, recently secured over $1 million in private financing, loans, and a grant from Ukrainian defense tech cluster, Brave One. This will result in more and more efficient drones and additional pains for Russia to deal with. Many countries have provided Ukraine with advanced drone technologies, including sophisticated sensors, communication systems, and weapons. This has significantly enhanced the capabilities of Ukraine's drone fleet, allowing them to carry out more complex and effective operations. Thanks to these combined efforts, drones have provided Ukraine with a significant advantage in the war. They've leveled the playing field against Russia's superior military resources and have been a cornerstone of Ukraine's defense strategy. But the story doesn't end there. Ukraine's investment in drone technology has also promoted innovation and entrepreneurship within the country. Numerous startups and tech companies have sprung up, focusing on developing new and improved drone technologies. This has created a vibrant ecosystem of innovation, driving advancements in various aspects of drone design and functionality. The success of these companies has not only contributed to the war effort, but has also positioned Ukraine as a leader in the field of drone technology. On top of that, the use of drones has highlighted the importance of electronic warfare and cyber capabilities. Both Ukraine and Russia have engaged in electronic warfare to jam and disrupt each other's drone operations. This has led to a cat-and-mouse game, with each side constantly developing new tactics and technologies to counter the other's advances. Ukraine's ability to stay ahead in this aspect of the conflict has been another key factor in its success. The international community has also taken note of Ukraine's innovative use of drones. Military analysts and strategists from around the world have closely studied Ukraine's drone operations, learning valuable lessons that could be applied in future conflicts. This has elevated Ukraine's status on the global stage, showcasing its ability to adapt and innovate. The integration of drones into Ukraine's military strategy has also led to changes in their training and tactics. Ukrainian soldiers have had to learn how to operate and maintain drones, as well as how to integrate them into their overall combat operations. This has required a shift in thinking and the adoption of new tactics and strategies. The ability to adapt and embrace new technologies has been a hallmark of Ukraine's approach to the conflict. Looking to the future, Ukraine's experience with drones has the potential to shape the way other countries approach modern warfare. The lessons learned from this conflict could lead to changes in military doctrine and the adoption of new technologies and tactics. Ukraine has demonstrated that with the right combination of innovation, investment, and international support, even a smaller country can effectively challenge a larger and more powerful enemy. Take the Syrian situation, for example. Ukraine's help to Syrian rebels with drones was a significant factor in shifting the power dynamics in Syria's civil war. Ukrainian operatives supplied the Syrian rebels with advanced drones and experienced operators, playing a crucial role in their military successes. They sent about 150 drones and 20 skilled operators to assist the rebels in their fight against Bashar al-Assad's regime. These weren't just any drones. They were advanced and precise. The Syrian rebels used them to target armored vehicles, artillery positions, and even high-ranking officials within the Syrian government. The precision and effectiveness of these drones allowed the rebels to disrupt the Syrian military's operations significantly on the battlefield. The impact of these drones was profound. Groups like Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or the HTS, leading the rebels, used the drones to carry out coordinated assaults on government targets. Imagine having a tool that strikes with high accuracy and minimal error rates. This made drones a formidable addition to the rebels' arsenal. With these drones, the rebels managed to capture key strategic locations, such as Aleppo International Airport, crucial for logistics and resupply operations. Ukraine's motivation for supporting the Syrian rebels was clear. They aimed to undermine Russia's influence in the region and weaken its allies by aiding the rebels. This strategy of opening new fronts against Russian interests is part of Ukraine's broader efforts to counter Russian aggression on multiple fronts. It has also worked, as now the new Syrian government seems to want nothing to do with Russia. Just recently, Syria's new ruling administration canceled a contract with a Russian firm to manage and operate the country's Tartus port that was signed under former President Bashar al-Assad. Tartus has been a key base for Russia in recent years, allowing it to refuel, resupply, and repair vessels in the Mediterranean. But warships previously docked at the port have not appeared in satellite images since the collapse of the Assad regime, which Moscow backed throughout the Syrian civil war. This shows that Russia has been slowly moving assets out of the nation. To add fire to that situation, this January, Syria blocked a Russian warship from having access to the base. This all just shows us that Syria is really done with Russia. It seems Ukraine's gamble paid off and they supported the right horse. This collaboration between Ukrainian and Syrian rebel forces also shows how modern conflicts have become global in nature. The success of the Syrian rebels, empowered by Ukrainian drone support, demonstrates the power of innovation and strategic partnerships in modern warfare. Coming back to the Russian-Ukraine theater where the drones have been wreaking havoc, the ongoing conflict has gotten more intense recently, with Russia facing heavy losses. As of the end of January, Russia has reported around 835,940 casualties since they started the full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022. This number includes both soldiers who have been killed and those who have been wounded, with the number of confirmed deaths exceeding 90,000. A big reason for these high casualties is Russia's strategy of frontal assaults against heavily defended Ukrainian positions. These tactics have led to what many are calling suicidal attacks, with Russian troops being sent into dangerous situations without proper support. The same goes for Russia's North Korean counterparts, who are using outdated tactics in the war and getting mowed down. Despite these heavy losses, Russian President Vladimir Putin and his military commanders are not backing down. They keep pushing for more territorial gains, showing little regard for the lives of their soldiers. To address the increasing casualties, Putin has doubled down on his commitment to the war. He insists that Russia won't back down until it achieves its goals. To gather more support, Putin has asked the Russian public to back the war effort and has promised extra payments to volunteers who join the fight, on top of citizenship for the foreigners who join him. This has led to many volunteers, many without any military experience, enlisting in the war. The international community, in solidarity with Ukraine, keeps imposing more and more sanctions on Russia while sending Ukraine more and more help. On the 30th of January, Sweden announced that it would be providing Ukraine with a military aid package worth over $1.2 billion. This represents Sweden's largest assistance package since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. The package includes 16 CB-90 combat boats with weapon stations, 1 million rounds of 12.7mm ammunition, 146 trucks, 1,500 TOW anti-tank missiles, as well as 200 AT-4 anti-tank launchers. All this shows the international support that Ukraine has and how far other nations will go to preserve its sovereignty. On the other hand, the sanctions on Russia have not stopped. In fact, more and more are being added by the day. The European Union High Representative Kaja Kallas told journalists on the 28th of January in Brussels that we are working on the next sanctions package and hopefully we really want to get it ready by February. We are really looking into all types of things that really help Russia to wage this war, to put them on the sanctions list. Even elements like the consoles for the video games, because apparently these are the ones that they operate the drones with. So really being creative. Even chemicals that are needed for the Russian military industry. There are a lot of items. Of course, LNG is on this list. So basically anything and everything is being sanctioned against Russia to try and stop their war machine in its tracks. Everyone seems to have had enough, and the international community wants this war to end. As the war goes into its third year, the human cost continues to rise. Thousands of lives have been lost, and many more have been injured. The ongoing violence has also led to many civilian casualties, with both sides accusing each other of targeting non-combatants. The humanitarian crisis in Ukraine has worsened, with millions of people displaced and needing assistance. Putin's reaction to the direction of the war is a mix of persistence and desperation. Even with heavy losses, he remains determined to gain more territory. His officers have been criticized for their disregard for troop safety, often sending soldiers into dangerous situations without adequate support. The international community's condemnation hasn't swayed Putin's resolve, and he continues to push forward with his military goals. Within Russia, public support for the war is being tested by the high casualty rates. While Putin has called for increased backing and promised financial incentives to volunteers, there is growing dissent. Many Russians are questioning the justification for the war and the high human cost it has incurred. This dissent poses a potential challenge to Putin's ability to maintain support for the conflict. However, as the war goes on, drones, especially shotgun drones, will be key in deciding its outcome. Ukrainian drones have applied relentless pressure on Russia. Their precision strikes, disrupted logistics, and psychological warfare have weakened Russian and allied forces. As a result, Russia has had to adapt. It now often reacts to Ukraine's initiatives instead of dictating the engagement. With the way everything seems to have kicked up a notch, we are likely to see Ukraine gaining territory and causing enough damage that Russia will be forced to come to the negotiating table. After all, with Donald Trump in office and eager to stop the war, 2025 might be the year when we see this war close its last chapter.